All right. So, Mr. Research is going to show you how not to be like a lot of the other dudes. I know females have laws in their favor. I know females do a lot of things, but I am never angry at women. I have mastered that. Most career guys have mastered this. I'm not angry at women. There's no way you're going to get me upset at women because I don't care like that. I'm too busy driving past it. And this is the thing that a lot of dudes have not mastered. A lot of dudes have not mastered this thing where you see what the white man is doing. You see the white man is oppressing people. You see the white man, but you drive past it. You don't get caught up in talking about it. Look what the white man doing. Look what the white man doing. Because you don't have enough black men or black women and black men. Actual factual, come on up. I'm gonna send you the link. You don't have enough black men to make this white man change his business model. What's wrong with being angry? Because being angry is a boy child thing to do. This is why Jews don't get angry at what happened with Hitler. They try to get resolution. Italians don't get angry at what the Moors did. They try to change history to make it look like they was in control the whole time. Being angry is too emotional. It's a sign that you have not mastered that element of yourself. Come on up, actual factual. Let's discuss anger. Let's discuss what we're gonna do when a black man just expresses his dislike for something. No, you get together financially with actual factual. He comes in with 30,000. No, it's not a natural emotion. That's what a woman taught you. A woman taught you anger is a natural emotion. It's not. Anger is not a natural emotion. Not for a warrior. Not for a warrior. I'm sorry. There's nothing in history that shows anger as a natural emotion. Kings do not get angry, they get disgusted. Kings do not get emotional. The only king who ever got emotional in the history of all kings was Henry VIII. And Henry VIII is seen as a fool for all the people he killed, all the women he beheaded, because he couldn't control his damn anger. He's not known for any great things, but he did do a lot of great things, but he's not known for that. He's known for being a child. When you have the ability to drive past women, click the like button, please. There's 8 of you watching. When you have the ability to drive past women, you no longer care whether they're standing there. When you mastered the ability to look past women, you no longer care whether they're standing there. Therefore, when they're shooting bows and arrows at you as you drive past, you once again don't care. You don't care about the birds who crap on your car. You just don't. You're too busy driving past. And this is where the issue comes in a lot of times, is that the way I have mastered women, I know the key things that is in every woman. Let's talk about Asian women for a second. Let's not even talk about black. Let's talk about Asian women for a second. Asian women love chaos. So you guys don't know that. You guys don't know that. They love chaos. But some of the women have mastered their ability to not create chaos. Some Asian women, whether it be Chinese, Filipino, they have mastered their ability not to be hateful. We're talking Asian women. We're not even on black women right now. Thank you, Jay Jones, because all women love chaos. Your mama loves chaos. Your grandmama loves chaos. Your auntie loves chaos. The only difference is by now you don't see it in your grandmama because she's mastered it. You don't see it in your auntie because she's mastered it. When a woman gets the ability to self-check herself, she has mastered it. This is why so many of we black men will say things like women have no accountability because she loves chaos. Let's hear from actual factual. Actual factual. Unmute your mic. Force Windu, come on up.
Mr.
Put your
Research, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Now go ahead, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be brief because I gotta go. I gotta take care of some things. I'll probably be listening. So I guess I have more questions. I have more, and to the audience, you know,
Go ahead.
this is
Go
how,
ahead.
yeah, this is how intellectual black men discuss, unlike what you see on these panels. So I got more questions from you, elder brother. I know you're versed in psychology. Why isn't anger a natural range of part of the range of emotion, sir? Could you explain that for me?
Okay. Okay. Number one, it's not listed in psychology.
Hmm. It's not.
Mm, no, because
It's
it's
big.
not a because by definition, let's go to dictionary. Black men, we hate the dictionary. Click the like button. Click the like button. Before I continue, I'm gonna pause for a second to give you guys the ability to click the like button. By definition, anger is a strong feeling. A feeling. It is not an absolute. It is a feeling. It is not something that you're destined to have. It is something you choose to have. Further definition, it is a strong annoyance. How can I psychologically decipher an annoyance? I can decipher depression, but I can't. Anger is this is in the dictionary, black men. Anger is displeasure. How can I decipher displeasure? You come to me for counseling and I say, tell me about your displeasure. Let's waste 2 hours of your money on how we can cure your displeasure. And anger is a sign of your personal hostility. What do you say about what the dictionary says? Actual factual.
I don't disagree, but I guess my question
Can't
is,
disagree. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's documented. You can't disagree with
yes,
it. But go ahead.
no, no, no. Well, there was things that were documented about black people, phrenology, anyone, and a whole host of other things. Black people were thought to not have, the same pain sensitivity. So I don't know about that one, sir.
Hold on,
Um,
hold on, hold on. Before you continue, let me clear up something. You see what actual factual just did, Force Windu? He took a topic he could not handle, and I'm quite sure he's gonna handle it. But he took a topic he could not handle, and then he switched to a linear topic that had nothing to do with the topic we're discussing. On Black YouTube, that's what we do. We don't college stick to the facts. Defeat me on what we're talking about, not talk about Legos. But to actual factuals point, when you use any language, okay, in China, there's a word called nigga. There is a word called nigga in Chinese, but it has nothing to do with what you are hearing the word as. So when you're using English, when you go to London and you're using the King English, fag is a cigarette in London. You need to use their definition. So therefore, what actual factual just did, panel, has no relevance because we're using the language here in this racist America, and we got to use it what it is for. My last point: race is a Italian word from the 1400s called Rossi, Rasse. Yes, I am Mr. Research. And race is not a real word outside of America. When you say race to people, they think you want to run. I'm sorry. Go ahead, actual factual. Sorry to cut you off, and then we'll go to Force Window.
Okay. So I guess not. I guess I want to be clear because I am with Mr. Research and Brother Force Windu, Mace Windu. So getting back to the topic on anger because I cannot argue with that definition. Okay, I'll accept the definition. Humans, what you're telling me from that definition, humans can go through, can feel, or what is described, they can emote that feeling, that displeasure. Am I correct?
They can emote, yes.
Okay. Uh, does displeasure discount? Does it discount the possible grievance, or is it? Does it discount it something being wrong? I may add, if we're being technical, does it mean that it is wrong what the person is displeased about?
I did say displeasure, yes. But displeasure is the same thing as you having a hard on and not having a hard on.
So you're saying it's something physiological?
It's
Because that's
feeling.
physiological.
It's just feeling.
Well, what you just described is a physical. I don't want to get into the weeds because
No,
I
no, no,
understand what
no.
you
You getting a hard on is a feeling.
but that's physiological though.
No, it turns into physiological. I'm 27 years in medical, sir. It turns into physiological. You got turned on, and that triggered your body's reaction.
Okay, we'll roll with that. So my point is, does it mean what the person is displeased about is incorrect?
Correct and not correct has to do with the person. The thing in psychology is whether that is applicable to a normal reality, a normal life, or your particular normal goals.
Is it?
So,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so my point is that what we do when we counsel people, let's take depression, which is a real stated thing. A depression is a sense of feelings compounded upon each other. It's like very bad weed that you can't control. Okay. Something is happening to you that you are consciously not taking necessarily a part of. And it's up to the counselor's part to break that down and help you see a pathway out of it and then turn back around and realize how you got there so you never do it again. Of anger, I've been angry. Anger is something that a feeling of displeasure, as I read it in dictionary, it is something that happens upon you, but it's nothing that you sit in for over 15 minutes. You choose to sit in it. You choose to sit in it over 15 minutes. Hold on for a second. I don't want to disrespect Force Windu. Force Windu, what are your thoughts, sir? And what are your questions?
I think it's a great topic. It's something that I've been coming. First of all, peace to you, brother. How you doing?
How are you, sir? Been waiting. To,
I'm great. How you
I've been
doing,
waiting to
actual
speak with
factual?
you, sir. I've been waiting to speak with you. Go ahead.
I think what the topic is valuable because what we have is a dissociation of emotions from the actual subject. So if we're talking about black men being not being angry at women, it's a learned behavior through and it's a protective behavior, at least to my understanding. I
Sure.
think we're conditioned to not
It's an
see.
actual plantation behavior because Africans don't give a hell. That's why many of them run away from their families. But go ahead.
Mm. So what we have is we're dissociated from the ability to feel for that anger towards them for the BS. So as a matter of fact, let me expound upon that a little bit. So because it's
Mhm.
not really cut and dry.
Okay.
When you
You
when
got it.
Go
You
ahead.
got it. You got to compact it because actual factual got to go. I want to make sure you get his last point in. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick. What we have is because we're raised in situations where that are dysfunctional and I mean to some degree everyone is obviously, but when we're raised in these dysfunctional situations we kind of become conditioned to it so that we don't recognize it when it shows up. So we don't even our trigger to be angry about it is kind of turned off. We have the safety on when it comes to our women. So we don't have the opportunity to really like process it in the realm of what would I do if this were anyone else? How would I deal with this if this were anyone else other than this person here who looks like me?
Exactly, sir. Go ahead.
Go ahead, actual factual. I'm gonna let you go.
Actual factual. Did you hear what the gentleman said? It is a situation of, and this is why you could tell a black person on other panels that is not a well read person. They'll say, I'm not talking about white people. I'm not talking about Asians. I only deal with black. Every topic is a topic that you must be able to use on every human on the planet. If you can't use it on every human on the planet, just like Force just explained, then we're trying to pigeonhole a narrative where we will always win. The thing that Force said is like anyone else, if the white man, the Asian man pisses you off, how long do you sit and be pissed at the Asian man? But go ahead, actual factual. You got your time because I want to make sure you get it in.
Okay, so I want the audience to understand. Um, this is a simple question and answer. These are brotherhood lessons, a mini brotherhood lesson, everyone.
Wait. That's my old channel name. Brotherhood lesson. Go ahead. Go ahead though.
I know, and that's why I use that term. So I guess I never specified on the duration of it. I want to make that very clear to you and the audience. I never specified in the duration. I simply I simply was when you posited the question, I simply was saying a person has the right to that emotion. They
No,
can eat or
no,
that feel
no.
excuse me, that
Not by
feeling.
no, not by warrior standards. So Sandog is going to tell you that once he comes in. Not by warrior standards. See, here on my page, and I love you, actual factual. I really do. You my brother. But we talk like warriors over here. You do not have a right to anger. Anger is something, this is why warriors tell you, use that to win, kill the enemy. You cannot take a 15-minute feeling and extrapolate it into a whole day. That's how it leads to depression. You females should I love you. I'm not trying to give you a narrative, but as a warrior, I'm a dude that kills dragons on the regular for all you black men. You guys are not in corporate the way I'm in corporate. Okay? I'm up there competing against the white man and the Asian man constantly. My fucking boss, I exposed him yesterday for saying something stupid to me about some numbers that didn't matter. And I said it to him in a very calm way. Hey, Ricky, why do these numbers that you keep emailing me not add up? Oh well, da 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 da. You see, I'm angry, actual factual, but I've taken that anger and I've strategically calculated through a set of emails how to set my boss up for putting his foot in his mouth. I do not just sit in the anger. Go ahead, actual factual. Then we'll go back to force. Then we'll go to sand because I know you got to leave. Go ahead, actual factual.
Okay, and I want the audience to use it. Please excuse me for the noise. But so with that anger, I guess we don't. I don't disagree. Here's the thing: you can feel it, but what you do with it, as far as being constructive after you felt what you felt. First, you need to confirm because it may not be your perspective may be incorrect. I do think there's such thing as incorrect and correct. Your
That's
perspective
true.
may not be incorrect, and therefore it's based on things that are not facts. Okay,
True.
things that are not facts, and so yes,
Some
you
people just don't get their way and they become angry at something they believe they should have. Go ahead. You're right.
correct because if if you've assessed the situation, it is in fact something that is harming you.
Per your perception.
harming your perception as well as your person. It could be harming your person, your physical person as
Okay.
well. If you've
Okay.
established things and you've been able to back it and say, this is a fact, you can feel what you feel, whatever comes out. But I want to make this very clear.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that separates you from individuals in this world who are getting things done is that the people who get things done, or you see uh, making constructive decisions, they have chosen to say, I will change this, or I will in attempt to try to change this.
Exactly.
And that's what I want
Exactly.
everybody to listen to.
Exactly. Thank you, Actual Factor. If you're going to stick around and contribute, please do it for as long as you can. Let me go to Force Window because I got to get to Sandog. He is going to educate you all. Welcome, Force Window, once again. Please give me the Midas touch, sir. Educate me.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, alluded to about the emotion of anger. Any emotion is a very good servant, but a very poor master. And when we have a situation of any type that causes us to react rather than to respond, reaction meaning someone other than yourself is in control, as opposed to response where you are deciding how you want to respond or act moving forward. You're setting yourself up to be a slave. So emotion.
So I got to put some jokes in here. So,
Yes,
are
sir.
you mad because that blonde chick didn't give you head?
I'm sorry, the reference escapes me.
Are you upset because the black chick didn't give you vagina?
Well, it depends on the context. First of all, I'm a married man, so I don't have that
Okay.
issue.
Are you mad because your wife was upset one day and did not want to give you affection?
Oh, well, it depends. I mean, the reality is, yes, the anger, as you said before, is a fleeting response. It's an emotional response. And I say response on purpose because we have reaction and we have response. I think that one is empowered and the other is disempowered.
Okay, be careful because that's too deep for the average listener. Me and Sandog can understand what you say, but sometimes what happens is when we do these complexity answers, which I can do also, it throws a lot of people off because they can't gather it like that. So, translation to what Force just said, and I'm gonna let him finish. When you've mastered the discipline to decipher which one is actually happening. See, a lot of people just put it all together. When you've mastered the ability to decipher which one is happening, then comes for a person like Force Windu, myself, and Sandog, comes a complexity of possible responses. Go ahead, Force Windu.
Right. And with those responses, there's an impetus almost to figure out which path you're going to go. Obviously, you see my avatar. It's on purpose.
The greatest
But
guy, the greatest guy in the whole in the whole Star Wars universe. But go ahead.
so the concept behind the shatter point, or well, his power, his force power, but also just his ability to use the dark side without turning, meaning he can possess and own his own emotional state and then turn it and use it for whatever end he needs it to be worked for. So that's the
Absolutely.
concept. If if we don't master, it says he that rule his own spirit is like a city without walls. That's the Bible. But I find that knowledge to be extremely valuable because as we grow, develop, and learn, hopefully the concept is that we get to a point of self mastery. Self mastery being the ability to, one, know yourself, to two, control yourself. And if you can do those things, you can become a very powerful person.
Absolutely. We're going to get to Sandog. I want to respond to a couple of things in the chat room. A lot of you guys are watching, but you need to click the like button out of honor and out of love. You see, what happens a lot of times, black people, you want this knowledge that Force just gave you, Sandog is about to give you for free. But let me give you a old pimp term. The game is to be sold, not told. The reason for that is you appreciate it more when you humble yourself and click the like button, let alone donate. But you appreciate it more. A lot of times you guys want stuff from us older, more well-traveled, established people, and you call us names, but it's because you guys don't understand what giving back really is. So with that said, let me address this in the chat room. Jean Dua says, so if a girl spit in my face and I backhand her, am I wrong? No, sir. Spitting is actually a felony in some states, especially since AIDS has come around. If an officer comes, I'm going to give you the key thing to say. She spit in my face and she told me she had AIDS. The officer is going to take that into consideration. If you're in any Arab controlled country, Egypt, Libya, actual Dubai, her spitting in your face will lock her in jail. So, sir, no, you're not wrong. But my point here, gentlemen, you have to master living beyond women. You have to master not caring. Once you become a world traveler or just a guy who jumps on planes here within the United States, you won't be caring as much about what the women are doing because you'll say, they're women. Causing chaos is what they do. But Sandog may disagree with me. So educate me, Sandog, please.
Hello?
Go
Can you
ahead,
guys
brother.
hear
We
me?
can hear you. Yeah.
Yo, man, peace to the panel, man. Yo, Force Windu, man. What's up, brother? Okay. Hello?
Yeah, he's on mute.
Oh, sorry about that, brother. Yay, how you doing, Sandog? Peace, brother.
Okay, but yeah, it's good, man. And shout out to you, Mr. Research, on your panel. It's funny because for Conan the Barbarian, if you guys remember that
Oh
old
yeah.
movie, they
Oh yeah.
asked him, what's the best thing in life? And he said to crush your enemies,
Enemies.
see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. And what I would encourage a lot of men to do was that for me, like I was very fortunate. So for me, I grew up and with the father that had a very patriarchal stance, and I grew up in a different environment than most African American men may get. And what I would tell men is that you need to walk in your own purpose, right? So a lot of it will start even with your peers, right? Even with your same sex or male peers,
Absolutely.
right? So your peers may. So when I was a young man, junior high school was the test mark where a lot of my peers are going towards street life, and then I was going in the direction that I was going. And so what happens is that you have to learn early to stand on your own square and respect yourself. I remember I was in the 8th grade, and there was a young lady who told me, she said, "Hey, you're really cute, and I would date you, but you love comic books and video games too much." And I was like, I'm 12 years old, and I'm happy being 12,
There
right?
you go.
And then I also
Well, I'm
knew.
sorry. I'm sorry. I got to say this. Oh, you get. Go ahead.
Exactly. And I also knew that a young woman, because what happens is to a lot of our young men, as they're matriculating into manhood, right? A lot of them rely too heavily on the insight or perspectives of women in terms of what a man is, and a
Hold on
woman
for a minute.
cannot
Hold on for a
define that
minute.
for you.
Hold on, Sandog. That's too much game for the average listener. We're going to pause for just a second so you guys can leave some comments in the comment section because we need to hear from you. Force Windu and Sandog, you guys need to come around here on a regular basis. Give me your PayPals. I'm gonna buy y'all lunch. We need to have more of this warrior talk on a regular basis. I just wanted to do this. And Sandog, I got to reply to you, but it's been a crazy week at work. I'm doing all of my replies after I come from running. We're gonna let Sandog speak again, but here's the thing. Uh, women, gentlemen, it's not that serious. It's just not. Just like Sandog just said, they're gonna see you do you, and they're gonna be happy to be involved. That's where it all comes down to. Sandog, please continue. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, but no, and that's what I was just trying to tell young men. So what happens is, if you know who you are and what you want out of life, so what you have to understand is that a woman is a part of life. It's not she's not life itself, right? So in my first serious relationship, for the lady that I was with, she asked me, where do I come in your life? And I said, you're the sixth thing in my life. And she was like, what? And I told her, the other five things is what allows me to be in a relationship with you. Right. So at the end of the day, right, my love doesn't house, feed, or clothe. So the other five or six things that I put in front of you is what allows me to facilitate that. Right.
Wait. Slow it down because they need to pick it up. Brothers, listen to what he said. I've been saying this to you for years. Lady, you are number 3, sometimes 5 on what I got to do. It don't mean I don't love you. It's just the way I order my life. And you tell her this coming in. This is a second, third date conversation. I'm not scared to lose chicks. I look, I told you I got 2 porno stars for friends. I go to porno sets sometimes and hang out. I go to orgies. I deal with international chicks. I don't know what it's like to date a cashier. I date nothing but professional chicks because I want to be in Force Windu situation where I'm happy or decently happy. You gentlemen are mad at chicks for the wrong reason because you care. And you want to control these chicks. The same way with you women who are listening. You want to control these dudes. You ain't trying to be in love. Love to you is control. Therefore, every marriage is strategic. You need to be getting with people who understand your warrior mentality and how you make moves. Go ahead, Sandog, and we'll go back to Force Window so he could tell me about this wonderful marriage. Go ahead, Sandog.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like I said, I'll do it and I'll close out. But, you know, it goes back to what Mr. Research was just telling you, right? I guarantee you, what happens is when you formulate your purpose, when you begin to understand yourself and what you want out of life, what you're going to find is as you meet women, your discriminators will automatically kick in. So you're gonna meet women where some of them, hey, are just cool. Some of them I just want to do whatever I'm gonna do, or some of them may be relationship or long-term material. And you'll be able to do this pretty much fairly quickly once you focus on and to the best of your ability, master who you are first, right? As opposed to looking for what we would call external validation, right? So if you were to focus on, again, building yourself up. So start with, hey, you know what? This is what I want for myself, as a man. Because think about it, right?
That's
If you
too
go
much
back,
game for the average listener, Sandog. Please continue.
so if you so what happens is that, so think about it. Some of you may be younger, but if you go back into the 90s, right, the women were told to focus on themselves first, which for them, which for them, I don't know how that pans out exactly, but in the world of men, if you are able to do that, then what happens is that your discriminators kicks in, because what will happen is you will develop a lifestyle, friendships, networks. Like I said, I was talking on somebody's channel. For example, I worked for a very large European-owned shipping company, and it was the 150-year anniversary, and we had a golf tournament.
30 seconds,
Right?
30 seconds.
Okay, yeah, and we had a golf tournament. Some women can't fit into that world, right? That some women are not. So just because she's cute doesn't mean that she can necessarily fit into your world. And that's all I gotta say. Define yourself. Knowledge of self is everything. Define yourself and stand on your square. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. And that's really it. It's that simple.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have a wrench and you're in my chat room, why is Jose Garcia still talking? If you have a wrench and you're in my chat room, why is Jose Garcia still talking? See, here's the thing I want to say about what Sandog said before we go back to Force Window. I've said probably back in 2007, 2008, the man is the prize. That's something I learned in Scotland. The man is the prize. He protects. And when he gives birth to a son, what does the religion say? Every religion. Oh, joy, you got a boy. The reason for this is because once you learn to be a protector, then you are no longer in the mindset. Hey, shout out to Yogi Fish. How are you? You are no longer in the mindset of trying to appease. You just don't. I've had a lot of screwed up stuff happen in my family structure. You know what I said? Okay. Y'all like chaos. No problem. I'm just going to do what my father said. Be an asshole then, because I'm not going to let it hurt me. That's the translation of what Sandog just said. You're doing stuff that appeases your goal on what you got to get done as a black son. If your woman benefits, great. If your daughter benefits, great. If your mom benefits, great. But if none of them benefit, you got to walk this manhood thing alone. You may care for your daughter, but guess what? She has the option to go left because this America allows her to go left several times, make mistakes, and still allows her to be the CEO of a company. Not you. You only got one or two mistakes, and they're going to make sure your reputation is tarnished forever. You'll never see CEO. Ain't no government welfare for you. Maybe food stamps, but that's it. So Sandog's point is you guys who got friends and YouTube people that you follow who are always talking about women, you're hurting yourself because real warriors just don't care. Career men just don't care. The married guys just don't care about what y'all stressing off of. And you fooling yourself thinking that you have to care. Force Windu, educate me, please.
I don't know that I can, but but the truth is, I mean, marriage is not for the cowardly or the weak. Um, Having said that, it's been a major developing point in my life. I got married very young, which I would advise any man against. If you're under
Yeah,
30,
never do that. Yeah, wait
if
till
you're
you
under
get 30,
30 years
32,
old,
34. Yeah, always.
yeah,
Oh,
if you're under
let me just
30,
say
I
this.
recommend against it. I'm sorry.
Let me just say this. Everybody in history got married at about between 28 and 36.
Hmm.
Nobody got married young. But getting married young is a plantation thing.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
you go outside of Europe, you're gonna find and don't get disgusted. Just listen. When you go outside of Europe, you're gonna find some 33-year-old dudes dating some fucking 15-year-old girls.
That's
You're gonna
common. That makes
find
sense.
some old 40-year-old women having 17-year-old lovers.
It happens.
Okay, the only people who are concerned about being in the same age bracket is here. Now, I'm not saying what the Euro people do is right. I'm just saying it's called May December romances. They got a name for it. It happens so much.
Mm.
So you guys trying to do what the plantation told you to do and get married before. No, go screw up in life. Uh, 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 Scrub your knee. Have some failures. And women, you the same thing. So that way, when you come together at 30 and you appreciate each other, you have your first kid. By the time your kid is 10, you guys will just be turning 40 years old. And you'll have a wealth of knowledge to give that kid. By the time y'all 50, which is still young, your kid will be going to college and you guys will have a lot of wisdom. But you're not going to have as much wisdom as you could have if you're having this kid and he's going to college at 20 and here you are 35. Come on.
Hey, Mr. Research.
Go ahead, sir.
Brother, I just want to say one last thing to the brothers out there before I go, and I'll just give a
Yeah. And I gotta email you, and I will do that. Go ahead, sir, and then I'll go back to Force
no
Window.
problem. It's all right. It's all right. So just when I was a young man, at my university, like I said, again, I was very popular with younger women. I was 17 years old at the time. And when I went to my university, like I said, I became class president. I was an academic decathlete. I was an ROTC, did the fraternity thing.
Hey,
And
shout out to us fellow nerds. 3.8 honor student here. Go ahead, sir.
yeah. and so what happens is that when you're handling your business, women see that. Like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm telling you, like they see it. Like, one girl's like, I never see you out here doing this or doing that. Whenever I see you, it's always at the SGA building, or you're going to class, or to the
Mm-hmm.
ROTC building, and whatever. And I'm telling you, they measure that stuff. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, and they see it. And so like I said, I'll be real quick. One time I went on a date with the girl, and she said, whenever I go out with you, I feel like I can't be myself. I feel like I have to behave a certain way or act a certain way.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then, and I said, oh, that's because when you're around me, you feel the need to uphold standards. So
There you
whoever
go.
you've been out with before is not, again, is someone that you don't have to uphold the standard to.
If you want to keep this sand dog safety, it comes with rules. Go ahead, sir.
Correct. Yeah. So facts. So yeah. So at the end of the day, like, to your very point, like I said, it comes with those rules. And to what you guys are saying, like, for me, I was married young, but the idea that I had getting married and young wasn't about lust. At that particular time of my life, I wanted to become president of the United States. So as a young Army officer, I thought that I was checking all the right
Right,
boxes that would
right,
help me
right.
get to that point. So it wasn't a thing of lust. And this is the last thing I'm going to tell the guys. When you're on your square as a man, because what happened was, when I was in a relationship with that woman, right? So one time I was sitting at home happy watching Dragon Ball Z, right? My homeboy Gohan just hit Super Saiyan 2. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to go. And so she was looking sad. And I said, why are you sad? And then she says, nothing. And I said, what's wrong? Are you sad because your friends are coming over and I'm here watching cartoons? And she's like, yeah, and you're just sitting here like a child. And I said,
Mm.
check this out. Whose name is on this house?
There
She
you
said,
go.
yours. Whose last name do you have? Yours. When you go up on that base, whose benefits are you using? Yours.
Oh,
I said, did your father raise you? She said, no. I said, so simply by marrying you within 18 months, I have done more for you than your father has done in your lifetime. So the next time you want to call a man a child, I recommend you call your father. Then I said, as for your girlfriend that's coming over, right, we have a nice lifestyle and you contribute to it. But let me tell you how women think. They think they're looking at me saying that I'm giving you all this stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Walmart. I want a box of Lucky Charms, some Little Debbie cakes, and half a gallon of milk. And before you can check out, your girlfriend's mouth will be around my penis. Right. So I said, and so again, so for a lot of, so like, but I was able to do this at 23 or 24 years old because, again, I was fortunate enough to be self-realized and understand what I wanted out of life. That's it. That's all I got,
And
guys.
you know what? We got to do one on self realization. Make sure you email me, man. Drop your link somewhere. Oh no, email me your PayPal is what I need. I got your email,
Nah,
but
man, it's
make sure.
gravy. If you just happen to be in the GCC, man, let me know. I know you move around. Let me know when you're on
Oh
this
yeah, yeah.
side of the.
I will make a situation happen to where we can do that. Um, and without a doubt, let me go ahead and do this with Force Window because I got to go run before I
No
start
problem. Yeah,
my
I'm
day.
dropping off now. Yeah, I'm dropping off now. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
Sand
Sand Dog.
y'all.
We
dog,
will
true
connect.
pleasure, brother. Peace. Stay up out there.
All right, let me respond to the chat room before I go back to Force Window. We're going to talk about marriage real quick and the business of marriage. Let's not talk about love. Let's talk about the business. Jenny, construction site says the Jenny Ma said, like a boss to boss people and submit to her. So here's the thing: the best woman who controlled Pepsi, she's an Indian woman. saw a documentary on her about how she took Pepsi to a whole new light and made Pepsi compete with Coca-Cola. Her husband doesn't make the millions that she makes. He's a modest dude with a business, but she comes home and cooks for her husband. This is the CEO of Pepsi. The CEO of Pepsi. She likes that woman side of her, so where she can forget all those meetings and firing people and hiring people and what South Asia should do versus North America. She comes home and she puts herself in another mental space. This is somebody who has mastered the ability to do that, but just like Jeannie Ma, come home and devoid themselves of that. And it's not about her bowing down to her fiance. It's about that's how she's mastered her life and how she wishes to move forward. And it may work out for Jeezy. Jeezy already has 3 kids. She may not want no kids. She might be a perfect fit. We're getting into the business of marriage. Going back to what Sandog says, and we're going to get some wisdom from Force Windu. If you know what your purpose is as a guy, I don't need my woman to have my kids. I don't. I'm going to pay $50,000 and have a surrogate child from my bloodline. I've already picked out two hospitals to do it. I'm going to probably pick a 6'4" or 6'6" black woman. The darker, the better. Harvard, Yale. That's what I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to pay 50 grand. And they're going to take my sperm, put it in this 6'4", 6'6" woman from Harvard and Yale. And through this company, that's a valid company, we're going to have my son or my daughter. I prefer my son, but, and once the child is born, she takes her money. I have my child. That's the end of that. And I'm probably going to adopt 2 other boys. Force Windu, what are your thoughts?
That's a novel concept. I've only heard of that a few times, other than just now, with surrogacy. Um,
Well,
do you think it's
I taught Ramil about it. I told Ramil about it years ago,
mm,
um,
mm.
and he's been championing it ever since.
Well, it makes sense to me. If you're not able to find exactly what you're looking for and want to put the wear and tear on the body nowadays of your wife, then it makes sense. I get it. Um, we're going back to a time when the children belong to the fathers. Excuse me, I got background noise.
No, it's okay. Ain't worry about that.
Okay, but I think that if we were going to speak of some of the traditions, the religious traditions, the children always belong to the father. So that just makes sense to me. I,
Absolutely. Let
okay.
me answer this real quick. Chat room question. So how come back in the 1930s they were getting young, sir? That was just before radio, or just when radio came about. Everything was about being a team. Everything was about being a team, sir. That's what that was. And you more than likely died by 35, 45. Living to you was 70 and 80. That didn't start happening until what? After World War One or World War
Yeah,
Two?
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
about that.
go ahead though, Force Window.
That's a good question. How come back in the day that they're okay getting married young was because, be honest with you, the agricultural society that they were in, and that
Oh, I
that
forgot
was a
about
very
the
hard
agriculture.
life.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a very hard life. It was pre-industrial revolution.
Hmm.
Well, it's mid-industrial revolution.
Mid, yeah.
Mid, and what happens is there's a transition from that time until this,
It,
where
what a Force Window is saying, depending on what state you were living.
hmm pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Wasn't
You
a
know,
good look because
nah, nah. And
you
getting
was
married young is also, you got to understand something. When you say getting married young, usually when you think about getting married young, you think about the women, and throughout antiquity, entire human history, women married young because once they're able to ovulate and have children, that made them a woman. Now, that
yeah,
didn't necessarily make them a wife.
Right. Well, let me say it again so the people don't miss out on that. So back in that time, when the young lady had a child, she was classified by other women as a woman. The same way back in the Victorian age, they used to say, "Have you bled yet?" That
Mhm.
justified you as a woman.
Mhm.
Sometimes women were 13 and they bled. They got woman status from other women. So these
You-
are cultural and traditional things. Go ahead, Force.
I love what you just said because that actually debunks one of the common mythos in popular Christian tradition, meaning uh, you have heard of old that if a man look on a woman to lust after, he committed adultery in his heart already. But the problem is
Mhm.
that word woman was actually wife,
Yeah.
and people don't understand that because if
Or
you
or
say,
or
go ahead.
or in the case with Muhammad, um, it what he that wasn't wife yet,
Mm,
unfortunately.
mm,
So in the case of
espousal.
Muhammad, yeah, because he was trying to get his 13 or 12-year-old niece,
Mm.
and he was he yeah, it was bad. Muslim people don't like when I mention that part of it.
Well, it's
Um,
just a fact of life, brother. Because
mhm,
the truth is, I mean, Mary was a virgin. She was 14 years old. Come on.
right,
Stop.
right,
And Joseph was much significantly older, perhaps in his late 30s.
right.
So, that just, you weren't even a man until you were 30 years old in those cultures.
At all, at all. But let me get to this part with you, the business of marriage, which we've talked about some of it right now.
Hmm.
My thing, as I teach this wolf lifestyle to my clients behind YouTube, uh, it's about being intentional. Going back to
Hmm.
what Sindog said, um, I call it decision maker.
Hmm.
The thing is, the one of the reasons I'm not married yet, I almost got married twice.
Hmm.
I'm only looking to marry strategic partners.
Hmm.
Whether that be you have family connections as a woman, or you have connections for the industry I'm currently in, which is medical, or you got connections for the industry I plan to retire in, which is real estate.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to marry somebody, y'all can come up together. No, no. I'm an established black man.
Hmm.
I don't need for her to come up. What are your concepts on what I just said? Educate me.
The first problem is with women, with the way our women view things. They don't understand that their business, the woman's business, according to tradition, whether it be any of the religious traditions that we are subject to or around, the woman's business is the man. Now, I'm gonna just let that marinate. The woman's business is the man, and I understand that there are some very accomplished women out there who might take exception to that. That's not a. I'm not upset with you, and I'm not trying to create issues with you. But the point, bottom line is, if you adhere to any of these, even in name only, you got to recognize the reality that there's those things that you call scripture tell you clearly that your business is the man, because and so that's the fundamental drive of a marriage for a woman, for a wife rather, not a woman, a wife. Now beyond that, marrying strategically is the exact right thing to do. The construct of marriage is designed to forward the agenda of the male. Of course, that's traditional, obviously.
Hold
And
on, hold
I
on, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
I'm gonna let you continue. And
Go
for
ahead.
ladies, what he's saying, I have a slight disagreement, but what he's saying is valid. Your protection comes from your son in your later years, male. Your protection in your current years comes from your guy. Proof of this, ladies, you'll get yourselves into situations that you thought you and your money could handle, and you'll go look for males to get you out of the situation. You'll go do things that get you into situations, and then you'll call males to get you out of the situation. Therefore, by proxy, what he's saying is valid. My only twist is, and I'm going to be on you lady side just a little bit. Let's say it's not the man. It's definitely the children. And guess what? The children can't even say they're benefiting from that. So even if you wasn't to say it's the male, but I do slightly, like I said, agree with Force on that, then definitely you're going to say it's the children. So if your children are not developed, but only you are developed, then that was a selfish, independent problem. Go ahead, Force Window.
Well, to echo your point, to be honest with you, and it is my estimation, a selfish woman is a failed woman because you'll trade your influence for power, and influence is always better to be had than power, simply because everyone with power, someone is trying to take it from them. You're going to have to fight to retain it. If you're a woman and you have the influence of the king, now you can talk to him when no one else has time to talk to. When you can lay your head down next to his and speak softly into his ear, suddenly policy changes. But unfortunately, our women have decided to choose power over influence, not understanding that you'll have neither because you can't protect that power once you get it. Now, as a matter of being in marriage, I mean, marriage is by construct uh, an arrangement that is supposed to be mutually beneficial. Mutually beneficial for the man because he receives a what's called help meet, a person who will help him meet the goals, the visions for his life, who will back him up, ride or die, got a faithful partner, somebody who can work with him. And in turn, she gets provision, protection, and she gets the ability to synergize with the person who honestly should be able to have something to teach her, to develop her, to grow her, to cultivate her husbandry in a sense. So his job is to be to cultivate his wife in all along the way to reaching his vision and goal for their family. After all, they have his name.
Absolutely. Let me address another thing in the chat room. Uh, the Black Authority made a statement about Jeezy and the transfer of wealth. What have I taught you for years on this channel and my channels before? When I had 42,000 subscribers on Alpha Male Wisdom, what did I teach you guys? Whose ever family is the strongest will control the marriage. If Jeannie Ma has a stronger family structure than Jeezy, she will ultimately control this marriage. If Jeezy has a stronger family uh, uh, than uh, uh, than her, a la Ray J. Ray J has a stronger family than the chick he's with. Doesn't matter if the chick is leaving him. Family structure too strong. He done already diverted money. You're not gonna get him. Jeezy might get taken for the same way that Dr. Dre will get taken because you have no group support. I saw Force Windu on a couple of panels, a couple of times, and I wanted to jump on, but I said no, it'll cause an argument because most people ain't gonna understand what I'm saying. Independent blacks always need family blacks to get them out of problems. Contract blacks always need career blacks to get them out of problems. Here's why. An independent black talks all that independent shit while they making money, but you're never truly part of anybody's family, of anybody's group. That's why when they let you go or treat you fucked up, what's the first thing you say? You did it because I'm black. But wait a minute. I thought you're not part of the black people. I thought you ain't with that pro black shit, that family black shit. Which one is it? See, when they fire you, you need to say, okay, I'm independent and I'm going to tackle you independently. Oh, we let you go because you're a nigger. Well, I'm not a nigger. I'm not a black. I'm independent. See, that's what you should be saying, but you're not going to say that because an independent black wants both ice cream, cake, and pizza at the same time. But they don't want to cook it. They don't want to bake it. They don't want to mix it. That's where the problem really is. And the same thing it is with women. You guys got to understand women want the ice cream, the cake, but it's up to you to say, sweetheart, if you want my pizza, then you need to make the pizza that I'm going to give you the recipe for. Well, why can't we make it together? My love. Notice how I talk to women? My love. Because that's not how I want that to happen. You arrogant, sweetheart. You have a choice. You don't have to call. Notice I'm not calling nobody B's and H's because what I realize about women, they're waiting for me to say B's and H's. They're mad at themselves for getting wet from being told what to do while it coming out sweetly. They hate it. Well, I want to be with you, CA. Sweetheart. We cool as phone friends, but you're just too. I just can't do it. Force Windu. Am I doing it wrong?
No, it's different, but not wrong. Who am I to tell another man what he should do in his own sphere? That's your vision. I did see an interesting comment, if I'm allowed to comment.
Go ahead.
It said Victorian patriarchy worldview is very loaded. The irony about that Victorian patriarchal worldviews, it's not Victorian, nor is it Greek, Roman. It is actually from cultures of antiquity that have practiced patriarchy in a proper and balanced way for the last 10,000, 50,000 years. The truth is, what we've come to know as anti or outside of patriarchal views are really modern or based in romanticism, which has only come about in the last 500 to 600 years, which is the Victorian era. So I think we need to be very careful of how we label things. Patriarchy has existed. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because I've noticed patriarch in the days of Egypt, the days of Cush. It's
Correct.
just a diluted element of aristocrats, or what's now known as aristocrats. But
That's all. That's all.
that's all it is. That's all it is.
That's all it
Uh,
is. And people who married intentionally for purpose, as opposed to
Say that
what we
again.
call
Say
people
that
who
again.
married intentionally with purpose, as
That's
opposed to
it.
emotionality.
That's it.
We have to be very mindful of the labels that we attach to certain paradigm situations in our sphere, because we if we label them improperly, we don't know where to look for them again, so that we can research them and check them out again.
I tried to get on that Roland Martin interview between him and Tamika Mallory. I think that's her name. Because see, the whole patriarch thing um, that women want to destroy, the nuclear or westernized family.
Mm-hmm.
You have no proof of concept. Your lesbian theorem works.
It looks good
You
on
have,
paper.
I mean, it sounds good.
Ideologically,
Yeah,
it looks great on paper. It's like, oh my goodness, we can have this and this. But the truth is, most of the rights that people enjoy with regard to the abolishment of the
come from
so-called
patriarch.
patriarchy, the problem is, okay, if you abolish the patriarch, who's going to protect you?
Well,
And what if you?
let's take that out of it. Let's just take that out of it because I don't even like using that because that gives them a leg to stand on. My thing is, where is your proof of concept throughout history?
There is not one.
Right,
And those that would appear are very weak and have been conquered as well.
right. Every time, like I can name several times that it came close. Other than Queen Elizabeth, was it the first or the second?
I think it's the
There's
second.
no, there's no reigning monarch. Maybe the one in maybe the Russian one, but there's really no, and the only reason I don't include her because she didn't have a long length of time.
Hmm.
But there's no real reigning monarch who has controlled their situation, controlled their kingdom, and had a family.
Hmm.
Queen Elizabeth, and I'm not talking about the current Queen Elizabeth. I'm talking about the prior. She's the only one that came close. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even include this
Mm-hmm.
Queen Elizabeth because the Parliament really runs the country, not her. She doesn't have royal authority like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I just don't have proof of concept. There was an African queen. She came close, but she got her thing diminished. There was Queen Dido, of course. but she started chasing the white boy. She was the first swirler. Um, I just don't know none in history, unless you're going to include one of the Amazon queens. But we don't even know about them because they were hidden in the mountains of Brazil, and then until 1988. So we don't know what their development was, good or bad. So it's like I just don't have proof of concept. Go ahead, Force.
The idea concept of the patriarchy as we know it today having been redefined by modern feminism is a joke. That's not exactly at all what patriarchy was. Patriarchy was regulated in all of those older traditions. And I get that people said didn't found discontentment within them. I get that. But I also understand that for 50 plus thousand years of recorded history, they've been around, and that's why we're here today. So if they were so bad, perhaps we wouldn't be here. But I find the go ahead.
Now, let me get what City of Truth has to say. He's been trying to get on. I know he's driving. Go ahead,
Right on.
City of Truth.
Yeah. As far as I want to say, as far as you mentioned like the previous Queen Elizabeth and stuff, and I did read a book. Was it about her? It was about British history or something. But they talked about her in the book, and they said that women who get to like a certain level of leadership or society and stuff like that, um, they no longer the idea of a family just doesn't appeal to them, or it's just not feasible for them once they get to a certain level. It's like you have to go to the lower levels in order for a family to be feasible for
Well,
you.
well, 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 well just for
At a certain
information's
point.
sake, just for information's sake, in her case, she did a strategic move because she knew the minute that she had a kid or even married that they would kick her off the throne. So the only way for her to
Yeah.
strategically keep the throne was to not have a man involved at all. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's the point I was just trying to make is that it's just very situational. You just have to look at the whole situation. Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make.
Now, I did see the videos you put on about me, and they were pretty good. I did learn some things from them, so shout out to you. Even though it was a critique of me, I like critiques, so that was pretty good. So just applause to you for having a critical eye on how I could do better, present better. Good.
Yeah, and my thing is this: if when it comes to the trucking thing, right? Um, I don't think you should like approach guys like MOT or me, who are trying to start their own trucking companies and from the standpoint of like trying to tell them what to do. What you should do is you should approach them and ask them, "Hey, what is it can I do to help you?" Because
No,
again,
because no. Here's why I don't do that. Because no, no. I just want to explain because maybe Force can referee this and show me where I'm wrong. I don't ask you guys how I can help you because until you guys get to the point. Okay, first of all, let me clear it up because God is talking in my ear. I'm a career guy. Okay, as a career guy, I'm on the front lines with white people, Asian people who think low of black people. They don't care about service workers. Indians, Pakistanis don't care about people who serve them. I can't go to a bartender and say, "How can I help you?" I can't go to a maitre d' or a hotel maid and say, "How can I help you?" Even though you're $1 million hotel maid, because that's how you make your tips. Okay. I can't go to you until you get to the point where you're hiring other black men. Okay. When you're hiring other black men, and I ain't talking about giving a contract, it's a different thing. Because, see, when I give B Mays a career position. NC Worker, I can't let you on because I'm gonna be shutting down the stream. Sorry. If I hire B Mays, now B Mays has disposable income where he can fight the police. Disposable income that's gonna come every 2 weeks, as long as he don't screw it up. I've given him a career, but if I give him a contract, B Mays is gonna have some money some months he ain't. He might have to move to Michigan where the situation is better, and then he can have money every 2 weeks. It becomes very situational for him. So,
All right, can I interject?
wait. Let me just finish. So, my only thing is, I'm glad you guys are doing what you're doing. My thing is, there's black men out there seeking power against white folks, power against Asians, power. And guess what? A contract is just not a powerful place to be. But I digress. Go ahead, sir. You had
All
a
right,
microphone.
now here's the thing. You can't achieve the power without the black business class, because the black business class, that's who has the money, that's who has the ability to generate the capital. Now,
How are you guys black?
let
But
me
what I'm
finish.
saying, how are you guys black business class? I'm black business class.
No, let me finish. Is that
Okay.
before you started speaking, what I was going to say, and see, this is where I was going to um, present you as a piece of the puzzle. What I was going to say is you have a background, right, in medical finance, right? Didn't you say you had a background in medical finance?
27 years in medical, but currently I'm in
Okay.
medical finance. Yeah.
Okay, so you understand, I know you understand the financial side of things. Now, a perfect place for a guy like you to fit in the trucking industry is to develop a mechanism where guys like me, guys like MOT, who are new, and especially guys like me who are new authorities and who want to purchase their own truck, finance me for my first truck, man. Give me a good down, give me a decent down payment, so I don't have to pay an exorbitant monthly fee, so I can get out there and make money. The quicker I make money, the quicker I can expand. The quicker I can expand, the quicker I can hire more black folks. You see what I'm saying? Like, do you understand from that angle that I'm trying to
Yes, I
present?
do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
And we're going to let Force Windu in and referee. Maybe I'm incorrect. My only problem with the theory is that okay. I can get I can train I used to work at night as a hotel manager.
Okay.
I can train a guy to travel the world, live over Japan right now. Within 8 to 10 months, I can get him trained well enough where he can be a hotel auditor, which is the third level of all hotels. Okay,
Yeah.
manager, assistant manager, auditor. You can get him trained to be an auditor in a year. He's going to do 70K minimum, if not more. Okay. He has a job forever, and he's within a power structure to where even if his trucking fails, he can fall on back on his concierge hotel experience. He always got money, even when he's 80 years old. He's always going to have this 70K that he can have just by playing the hotel game. That helps more people in a short amount of time. He can go over and be manager of a Holiday Inn after working at the Hilton for 2 years. He can go manage the Holiday Inn within 2 years and hire other people immediately. Respectful to your point, it relies a lot on a singular person, time wise, keyword time wise, expanding at such a rapid pace to where they can hire. I used to make trucks when I was a kid before I went overseas. I worked for Kenworth Trucking in Seattle. $100,000, $200,000 truck. How long does it take to pay back that money? At what contracts? I know the trucking industry. The broker is a lot to do with that. I just want black men to take over the broker position because the Indians, from what I'm hearing, are about to. So it's just harder for me to put into that. I would be better putting into a guy who has a sandwich shop because he has one across the street from a high school. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different concept. But let me bring Force Window in to referee the topic, not whether you are personally wrong or I'm personally wrong, just the topic. So that way we can all learn from a third party. Force Window,
I
nothing
think,
personal, just talk about the
yeah,
topic.
I think it's multi-leveled. There's levels to this. The average person or layman or the person who drives truck or who works on a construction site, their context is yes, the next level for him would be getting contracts. The next level for him would be okay, well, secure financing to move forward in being a being a person who supplies the services so that more directly, so that they can take more of the profits and enjoy that margin. Uh, from the top down, however, is what you talked about, with whether it be management and then those key positions of procurement, where we can give people those contracts that we choose, and they will be a reliable resource for the organization that we represent. So there's multiple levels to this, and they span they span the gambit from social, economical, political, and of course personal, because I'm a firm believer that all business is the root of all business is actually relationships, regardless of who we're dealing with. Everybody in business wants to deal with somebody they number one know. They know who they are, even if they know by second hand. My brother brought this person to me. He says that they're good to do business with. I'm going to work with them.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. But ladies and gentlemen, relationships. This is why I tell people about suits and ties. Okay, a lot of you guys don't believe in suits and ties, and I get it. You don't need that to make money. You don't. I don't need it to pimp women or to sell drugs. But when you want to interact with other people who have family money, even the farmer puts on a suit. Even the oil rig guy puts on a suit. Even the cow guy, the guy who rides cow manure puts on a suit when you want to deal with business people in a business room. So a lot of times suits, gentlemen, if you don't have a suit, you're not really doing big business. You're hustling. I give you that. You making your money, but we all make money within 10 to 20 years. It's whether you got it at 70 and 80. That's where the thing comes in at. Go ahead, Force Window. Continue to educate on that topic.
Great point. As far as suits, because that's on code for people who are in that sphere, that level. That's their daily dress. That's their uniform, if you will. So for that level, absolutely, there is a dress code. There is a code. There's a way of conduct. There's rules of engagement, and having said that, it's a culture within itself, and it cuts across racial barriers. Um,
Right.
the
It's
the
just
talent,
money.
it's just money at that level. It's just money. Can you provide the service that my company is looking for at a price that I'm satisfied with, and are you accountable?
As
Bottom
I
line.
said before, racist white men have helped me more than black women have.
Well,
Racist white men saw that they can make money with me. They
you will listen, man. I'll be the first one to say I absolutely hate that truth, but I know it to be true. I
right.
know it to be true.
It's the weirdest thing. You
I
know
know it to
what?
be true.
You know what? Ca. Uh, you just not like those other ones. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, I even caught a guy when I just got to Seattle at 18. I saw a guy. I was working with him, and he thought he was slick. He thought I left. He said he left me back there to do the nigga work.
Hmm.
And I walked in on the VP and I said, whoa, whoa, did he just say? I said, I don't even want him back in my warehouse no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 18 running a warehouse. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Talk my way into that shit. I had to tell y'all that story one day. But my whole point is, yes, I understand City of Truth's point. We're gonna let him talk again, but I understand City of Truth's point. I'm not bashing trucking, and maybe I need to articulate it a better way. I just see a better, faster way to get the same type of money minus $1 million through hotels. But if a person has a contract, I want black men to win. I just to Force Windu's point, I believe the stronger thing we need to go after is those broker positions. I think the stronger thing we need to go after is those dispatch positions. Because if the Indians and Pakistanis get a hold of that, black men will no longer be getting those calls and they'll have to fight for it. But go
All right,
ahead,
now let
City.
me talk about that. Let me talk about that.
Go ahead.
Now, as far as the there are black people who are freight brokers. Okay, the problem is black people on YouTube are not talking to them. They're not bringing them on their show. There are black people I know for a fact who are in that industry who broker freight, who can tell you all about how to broker loads and how to broker freight and that kind of thing. You just have to get with who they are. What we can't do is we can't. A big problem with the black folks is we tend to be in awe of other communities of people. We'll see another community. We'll see a white man, make a slam dunk, and then be like, oh, slam dunk. Niggas make slam dunks all day, but we want to get amazed when another group does it just because they're another group. The reality is we have our own people in this industry. We just got to talk to them. And as far as I want to get to what were you going to say about like the black business class? Like you were saying something about the black business class, or what point were you trying to make?
So, so this is one thing I was discussing with Game Changer, and this is why Screen Learning had the classic video, which I'm going to premiere on here. Mr. Research Own the Vault versus Game Changers Get the Bag. When you are working for somebody picking cotton, you are in business. You are the business of a cotton picker. You are in business by definition, but you're not controlling the market. You're not controlling, to Force Windu's point, key elements of that industry that you're operating in. You don't realize you're a cotton picker. I'm a cotton picker to a degree. I just happen to manage white people, Asian people, and Indians. I'm a cotton picker to a degree. So people will say, okay, well, Mr. Research, you're a cotton picker. You're right, but I'm not down there in regards to perception of power. Even the CEO is a cotton picker to his board. Everybody's a cotton picker, but you got to understand who you are on the plantation. And so when we talk about business, everybody does business. But by definition, and I always go to this Webster's definition, when you are controlling a team, when you are hiring and firing, that's when you're truly in business. Every business course will tell you that. Every business course. So, and I know we as black people don't want to hear it because it don't sound good. I sold dope to the community. I I destroyed some lives. I stopped selling the dope out of guilt. I made more money selling weed. I didn't even think that market was like that. But guess what me and my friend did? We redefined how weed was being sold. We realized that there was a party crowd. We realized there was gay dudes. We realized there was white boys who didn't really want to come to the hood. And we went out and found those markets. And we said, nothing less than an ounce. We're coming to you. It's an ounce and up. So we shortly went from dime bags to pounds. This is what Forrest Windu just said. Know the key elements of this and get to it the quickest way possible. I'm just translating what he said. This this is where business is. So I don't mean to crap on blue collar or guys who got trades, but my question is, just like I said to one brother who was welding, why are you building shit and asking people to buy it? You guys say welding is so great. Why are they just not hiring you? Where is your union? Why can't you go to Jersey right now and start making money? That's because the trade
Okay,
that
let me ask this.
well, I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished. That's because the trade that person got into, he didn't think it all the way through. But now he's
Okay,
invested. Now he's stuck.
all right, let
Go
me
ahead.
ask this. Did the brother who's doing the welding, did he own his own welding business? Or was he, you know what I mean? Like, is that what you're talking about?
In his mind, he has a business.
Okay, so he does have a business thing. Even though you may not think much of his business, the brother has a business. And this is the point that I was getting at, is
Mm-hmm.
that you gotta understand the value of a black business and what a black business brings to a black community and what black business owners bring to black communities. Okay, when you have a business, you have that's a revenue generating mechanism. Okay, it's a mechanism that can generate revenue. Okay, that it has cash flow. Okay, you can take that cash and you can move that into other things you can do. And then the top thing about being an owner,
Hello?
But you're an owner, you have the security. No one can just come in one day and decide that, they don't
True.
like you anymore and decide that you're fired, like what happens to a lot of black people on jobs. The problem with the guy who's the manager at the Holiday Inn or Best Western, or like you were talking about, is even though he's a manager, ultimately that dude is still an employee. And the regional managers and stuff who are above him at any moment, if they decide that they don't like him anymore, they want to move to another direction, or if they want to get someone cheaper, they can remove him. And just like that, his job is gone. Everyone's job.
Yeah, I said the same thing about the CEO.
So, but if you have black people who own their own hotel, okay, now they're in a position of power
True.
because they own the hotel. They decide it's entirely
True. But a person with a contract doesn't own anything.
out of their hand and take food out of their mouth for some trivial reason. That was the point I was trying to make.
No, you said the same thing that I said. A CEO can be let go by his board. He's a cotton picker at the end of the day. We're all cotton pickers. Mr. Research is a cotton picker. But the person with a contract is less than that. The person with the contract, every morning, every week, they have to see what's available. Yes, they own their own welding, but that doesn't mean they're going to eat this month. I don't know. Force Windu, maybe I'm wrong. Educate me, man.
No, I don't think you're wrong. It's not even a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of degrees lining up. Because for the trucking person or the contractor who comes along and needs a contract or a series of trucking contracts, or the construction guy who needs a series of construction contracts, versus the man he owns I'm gonna use Smith Center, and he wants to build a new ballet. That the disconnect between them two becomes a matter of class exposure, which is something that black businesses tend to lack when we start talking about viable business opportunities. We lack the access to those people. And when I say that, I mean that, having been a
Hold on, hold on,
8A, go ahead.
hold on. I'm sorry. And many times, gentlemen, you don't get access because you ain't gonna put on the suit and go to a luncheon where the
Mhm.
access is there. Go ahead, sir.
That's a good point. No, that's a great point because you have to adapt. Business requires an adaptation, and you have to learn to be multilingual in business. So if you're an effective business person, one, you can delegate extremely well. That's the first thing. But then beyond that, if you don't have others to delegate for you, you have to be able to reach across the aisle for different levels of people, whether it be the guy in the warehouse, whether it be the guy on a construction site, all the way up to the guy who makes the decision and signs the checks. So those are the multi those are the things that would allow for us as people moving forward to keep in mind to say, okay, wait a minute, they have the contract, I have the shipping company. How do I get in contact? Because I've watched the other groups of non-black people
All day,
do that all day. They go golfing tournaments, they go to
all fucking.
basketball tournaments, they go to softball tournaments, and all they do is just all it is relationship.
That's why I went to the Russian beauty pageant
Hmm.
just to see how they move.
And the challenge for the guy who is the owner of a small trucking company or the owner of a small construction company is to see the value in that, to
Right.
understand that his network is his power.
So let me stop there. So I guess how people confuse me is he just said network is power. I want there to be several trucking owners, operators, but I want there to be several. I want there to be several black brokers. But I want there to be several. We ran everything in 1970, and black men gave it away because they allowed the white man to tell them you don't need no union, but the union was the strength of what we did. They allowed the white woman to tell black women you don't need the black man now that you got the right to vote, and the black woman listened and started turning against the black man. This has been going on for a while. So I guess maybe I need to say it in a different way. I do agree. MOT does hire black men. There are some people who hire black men, but I need that to be more than 20%.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now, can you repeat the part again? What you said about the white man and the black man and the
Okay,
1970s?
so it goes back to suit and tie. I did the suit and tie series on O'Shea show back in the day. It basically says this: it doesn't matter how much I know. I got to go to my conference every year and mix with people in my industry to get more knowledge, to get more access, which is Forrest Windu's point. I'm glad he on the show. Access. If I'm not getting access, I'm not growing. And so white guys, Irish guys deal with Irish guys, regardless of whether they good or not. Boston guys deal with Boston guys. Cleveland guys deal with Cleveland guys, even if they black. Black dudes are the only ones who don't understand yet. You have to employ each other and do business with each other. That broker, that a black trucking broker, that black dispatcher should be looking out for black owner operators. And the owner operator should be looking out for him. Because what has happened is white men have done have did a voodoo trick on black dudes to make them feel, and this was me and Game Changers conversation, I'm only going to go for the most skilled person. Force Windu just told you that's a lie. I'm telling you that's a lie. They don't go for the most qualified person. That's something they told black people so that black people will police black people. So that's what we said about white folks. White folks don't operate under the same restraints that black people hold black people to. White folks hire
Let's
each
respond to
other.
that. Respond to that.
Go ahead.
Do you think Jeff Bezos built up Amazon just by only hiring people in his family?
He only hired people from Seattle. I lived in Seattle. He only hired people from Seattle.
He only, okay, but you need to understand that there's people from all over America who work in Amazon.
Now,
Even if most of them are from Seattle, they've had to go and recruit people from all over to come and work there. So they
no. Most people who work at Amazon don't work at Amazon Corporation. Most people who work at Amazon are teleworkers. They work through a portal.
Okay.
So using Amazon is a bad premise because they're teleworkers. Because
no, but my point is Jeff Bezos. He had to hire people that would fit the particular business model.
Oh, I see what you said. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on.
Okay.
Not everybody's cut out to be a teleworker. Not everyone is cut out to analyze all their own data and organize all their own work and do all that independent contractor type stuff. So he had to hire people who fit that role. See what I'm saying?
Right. So here's what happens on a big business level. Yes, I'm going to look for slaves that are willing to help me grow my business and patch up my problems. As long as they don't want any to patent their ideas first. Okay. So a lot of times people don't understand, in using the Jeff Bezos example, if Jeff could only hire Jewish people, he would.
How do you know that?
Because there's something when you're around white folks. When white folks who are very proud of their lineage, they make no bones about it. And you can tell. Let me use an example with Max Helleran and Stephen A. Smith. As long as Max was talking about black people or white people, sports, it was all good. The minute they started talking about Jews, all of Max's Jewish side came out. Oh, Max didn't give a hell who was right, who was wrong, to the point where Stephen A. Smith had to say, "Oh, so now you saying something because it's your people." That's the funny thing with white folks. White folks give it away. Jeff has given it away a couple of times. Jeff is, you start saying something about Jews, Jeff starts getting a little bit funny about it.
Okay, now my thing is this. Hold on, my thing is this. Is that okay? I don't. So like, I would prefer to hire predominantly black people for my business. But you understand that when I hire black people for my business, I'm going to train them to be optimal.
Very true.
Yeah, I'm going to train them to be optimal. I'm not just going to hire them.
True.
And just because they're black, but they're not invested. You got to hire people, then train them to excel at what it is that they're actually doing. This idea that, well, I think we kind of have this idea that as black people, we think that white people just always give each other the hookup and they always just hire each other because they're white. That's not actually true. There's actually a lot of competition amongst them. Why do you think companies hire and fire CEOs all the time? Why do you think they hire and fire CFOs all the time? Why do you think so many people and executives and stuff fire their publicists and fire their media relations?
Every position you name is a contract position. CEO is a contract position.
Exactly, but the point I'm trying to make is that it's proficiency. You're saying, okay, so you're saying there's white people in those businesses who are just there because they know the white guy at the top and the white guy at the top hired them?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's where the business community comes into play. Okay, you want black people to hire other black people. The only people who can make that happen is the business community. That's the only people who can make that happen. No one else can make that happen. Government can't make that happen. There's no amount of laws they can pass to make that happen.
That's fair.
The black business community can
May I
make that
jump in with that?
Go
Yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
I think what you're saying is absolutely accurate, and to the point is, we've had 60 years of our women becoming educated and put in positions of power, being essentially the gatekeepers for these major corporations. And if you're not above that level where they vet you or they stop you at the gate or they stop you or slow you down in some way at HR, you have if you can be above that, it absolutely positively goes to relationship, because I've watched uh, business owners, very influential business owners in the region I'm in, they are on code when it comes to hiring their nephews, their cousins, their brothers. And it doesn't
Unqualified
even matter.
motherfuckers.
What is it? Aptitude is not the issue. It's attitude.
No, it's attitude.
Attitude determines your altitude, not your attitude.
Yep.
And so what happens is, if they can find for them, a brother who, he's a little young, but he's raw. We got to bring him along. We got to teach him how
Yep.
to be on time. We got to teach him how to speak the King's
Yep.
English. We got to throw a polo shirt on him. We got to do these things to get him so that he can represent us in an effective way.
Hey, look at my black. What did Trump say? Look at my black male voter. Hey, look, white folks want to be able to turn to other white folks and see, I developed Force Window. I took him as a raw guy.
Mhm.
I did this. So I understand what you guys are saying. I really got to go do my run. But I
Okay.
understand what you guys are saying. My thing is, though, your industry is depicted on a lot of things. It's just like a tech guy. A tech guy makes a lot of money, but he don't control shit. And
True.
I was going to make a speech at Afrotech this year because Afrotech happens out here in Northern California. But COVID happened, and my speech was going to be, what do you guys control?
Can I jump in there real quick?
Go ahead.
The concept, what you're talking about, is ownership and control. I totally it resonates with me. It's something that Michael Jackson talked about before his death, was about
Yeah.
ownership and that's intellectual property, which a lot of people looked at him like he was crazy, especially us, because we didn't comprehend the idea of trust. We didn't understand the idea
The
of
fucking glittering gold, the fucking glittering glove
Mm.
is a perfect example of that. Go ahead.
We didn't comprehend that he was saying, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, I own catalogs. I own Bob Dylan's music. I own Jay-Z's music. I own Eminem music as part of a catalog. That would be turned back over, not understanding what that was worth, because those are the back rooms of bigger business distribution.
I said to somebody on a white guy's channel a couple of hours ago, Puffy went and got a loan from his mom, the same mom who bankrolled him through college because he got fired by Uptown. He went and got a bank loan from his mom of 12 or 15 G's and bought all of Biggie's rights to Ready to Die.
Multi-million dollar investment. Multi-million dollar investment in perpetuity. Intellectual properties, ownership and control goes beyond just getting on and this is something I tell people that I've taught. If you have to get on a ladder as a contractor, you're not running a business, you're self-employed.
Right.
And
somebody said that in the chat room. If you're doing 25% of the work,
you self-employed. Yeah, it's not a business, because the business denotes delegation. It denotes assignment of assignment. It denotes moving assignments and just checking and management. It implies all those things that have nothing to do with actually doing the work.
Let me say something positive. Let me say something positive as we start closing out. Everybody get your last words together. I'm going to say something positive about the trucking industry and black men. Because I realized in this conversation, and a guy that I really like, City of Truth, and his angst with me. I'm gonna say something. You know what? I'm gonna start saying a lot of positive stuff, but they're going to be positive challenges. I want to see the black male community control or at least have a five uh 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 uh, uh 10% stake in the tires that truckers use. I want black male truck owners to create their own radio channel if they haven't done it already that only black truckers tune into, so they can start mobilizing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start pushing that here on this channel. That black truckers create their own radio channel that only black truckers can tune into, so that they can speak amongst each other worldwide while they on the road to know and mobilize. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put something on myself too. I'm gonna work with City of Truth. I need to come up with a way to create a black truckers event where black truckers can get together to hold these next level conversations.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think truckers should be the ones, and that's no disrespect to you. You know, I understand. Thank you for the suggestion, but that's something that we as black male truckers are gonna have to get together and do. And I actually do believe that there are black trucking expos and that kind of thing going on around in different cities.
Wait. What do you mean you believe? You should be part of them, right?
Yeah, but like I said, you know, I'm in the process of starting my own company and stuff right now.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that.
It's COVID-19 and all that.
Well,
But
you know what? Let me ask you this question because I'm low on time. I guess my problem is always this one. I want to help black sons, even the ones who are not directly in my bloodline. That's just where my heart is at. So my question is, should I view the trucking industry as something that is helping a lot of black sons, or should I see the trucking industry as something that's helping a select few owners?
my thing is this: this industry is only going to benefit you if you apply yourself. I always look at the black sons and I said they need to apply themselves. So stop looking for something or someone else to help you. It's about you applying yourself, you investing in yourself, and the sky's the limit. Of course, anybody can get into this industry, get a Class A license, start making money, start do like me, start an LLC, and research the industry and figure out what it is they got to do to be successful. That all comes to what they themselves do. But this idea that you know there's some invisible hand or you know that's gonna just you know help you and you don't have to do anything you know yourself or apply yourself, that's fantasy. That's not
Shout out to Erica Williams, a black woman using her money to do really what black men should be doing. She's going to create her own truck stops in Austin. I'm just so glad we got black women who are able to financially create change. We got to get our black men to financially create change. That is a great thing. And then Community Solutions, a woman in our space, said a big opportunity is mobile tire changing for cars and trucks. So many people get stranded late at night when everything is closed. Very good point. I thought of that back in the days when I was homeless. I actually used to take my van back there and drive around on the road and help people and have them send me money after they got help. So that did help me out, and that is a great idea. So let's get the last words in. Force Window, we're going to start with you, and then we're going to end it with City of Truth. Force Window, what are your thoughts?
My last thoughts with regard to the topic that was we are comfortable dissociating from our anger with black women because we're raised by them and see them as ourselves. I don't think that's wrong. I think that makes sense. I think the problem is the dysfunction that's perpetuated through it. With regard to business, I think that the trust issue has to become we have to, in other words, one of the problems that I see with black business, and I'm gonna be really brief as I can, is that black people who start businesses who have a competency in that area of their business tend to be overwhelmed. So they don't have the support of their community. They don't have the support necessarily even of their family. So what they end up doing is trying to do everything for themselves. And there are some who manage to muscle through that and organize through that and delegate through that. But the reality is there's a lot of pressures that we're not able to diffuse and deflect or to delegate, that we're trying to take on ourselves, trying to get up to the status and do business in a way that our counterparts are. Our women in particular, most of the most successful businesses are family ventures. As a matter of fact, so much so, when you start talking about the most money in the world, it's usually families that hold it. Families create the economies. Relationship creates business, and they're cyclical and they're reciprocal. There's synergistic. Always, always, always. The rugged individuality that we express in this country, particularly for black businesses and black people and black men and black women and all of that, it's malarkey. It's not true. You cannot be a rugged individualist and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go into business and do it all for yourself. Somebody help Jeff Bezos. Somebody help Bill Gates. Somebody help Steve Jobs. Somebody help Warren Buffett. Those are all people that we can look up and comprehend. When we look at their trail to success, we know that there are people who, one, been subject to them. They've had to been accountable to them, and we also know there's some people who have invested in them, and sometimes they were the same people. We have to get out of this mindset of the rugged individualist, because none of us are as strong as all of us. And I understand our particular plight in the community and in the black community, because we tend to be more to the side of dysfunction, more to the side of disunity and disharmony. But the reality is, if we don't figure out how to get this thing together, we'll never not. It's not even a matter of catching up. Forget it catching up. We will not survive. We absolutely positively need one another. So if the anger set aside for them is temporal and we can put it aside and not recognize and not deal with it because we're trying to get to the that's proper etiquette in the business world, because we have to not take it so personal and comprehend that, even though, look, I don't like what they said, I don't like what they did. Let's see how we can spin it, work it, make it happen, and use this in the sphere that we're in. Business success is probably, and with regard to status and understanding how you conduct yourself in commerce and even understanding who you are, those things are going to be fundamental moving forward for the black community in this sphere. And it doesn't matter whether it's socialism or communism or even capitalism. All systems
Right.
look good on paper. The system that we're in right now is a capitalistic society. So what are the rules for a capitalistic society? Oh, this plus that equals this, and then
30
we need to
seconds.
be
30 seconds.
good. We need to begin to decode those things and apply them so that they benefit us as a group. Group
Okay.
economics is the only way.
Okay. Group. You didn't hear him say individual, ladies and gentlemen. Said group. Uh, Let me say this, and then we'll go to City of Truth's last point. Naima said, "Why haven't a man partner with her as a power couple? Uh, a woman or whoever." Well, I'm going to talk about that when I come back from my run. City of Truth. Go ahead and educate us, sir.
I think that the number one thing, so I'm gonna just focus on the trucker parts. Um, is it all comes down to how a person applies themselves. I don't subscribe to this ideology that the world is here to help you, that an industry is here to help you, that you have to apply yourself and invest in yourself, decide what it is that you do yourself, and then you go get involved. You can't just sit there and expect the world around to to hold your hand and give you every little thing. For me, that's not how the real world works. As adults, we have to go out there and make our living. No one is going to come and give us a living or drop it in our lap. That's not even with these immigrants and stuff, these Russians and stuff that are in the trucking industry. They bring their family and stuff from Russia and come over here and drive trucks. But guess what? Many a Russian has not followed the rules and drove drunk, get arrested. Okay, I've seen these motherfuckers go over their hours. And there was a Russian dude a couple years ago went over his hours, was 2 hours over his hours, fell asleep, hit and killed family of 4. Okay, they did it 100 years. 100 years. Okay, he's sitting in the jail right now. No amount of flag culture is going to get him out of that jail cell for 100 years. Okay, so the point I'm trying to say, it all comes down to how you apply yourself. Okay, yeah, other people can help you here and there, but if you don't do right by yourself, you know what I mean? You don't make sure you doing what you got to do, you will fail. But that's what I got to say, Lenny. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And as I promised, I'm going to start doing more of the positive things about truckers. So with that, I want the black truckers to start a black trucking group, just like the Pakistanis are doing. Let's start a black trucking group. Let's black truckers meet, get together, and figure out how they're going to take over Wisconsin. Let's get the black truckers to meet, get together. No more individual contract thinking. Going back to what Forrest Windu has eloquently said, we need group economics. So I want to really start pushing our black truckers to take over Wisconsin, take over Kentucky contracts. Let's form as a conglomerate, which is the point that's my business way of saying things. Conglomerate of black truckers. That's what we really need to do. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to go do my run. And I will be back because I got to answer emails and crank out some more today. Much love. Peace. Communication solutions. We need to talk about this. It's very difficult for a black woman with a vision to find a counterpart. It is not difficult for a black woman to find a counterpart. She has to go where those guys are. And she has to deal with those guys that are available in her state. Okay. So this is not a difficult thing. It's easier for a woman to find a producing black man who don't hit on her. Cheating is something nobody can guarantee. But I'm going to do this today on my high value man thing. I just don't feel like it's difficult for women to find that type of stuff. It's just depends on what state you're in and whether you're putting yourself in those environments. I don't go to hip hop clubs. I don't go. I ain't been to a hip hop club in probably 12 years. Okay. I go to hip hop events. I don't go to hip hop clubs. The clubs I go to are dance clubs where people are dancing, not just standing around. I don't go anywhere where people are just standing around looking cute. I don't frequent those places. I go to play. I'm finna book a ticket. I'm gonna fly out to Atlanta. When I fly out to Atlanta, I'm already scheduling to go to a couple of salsa places, kazumba, African kazumba places. I don't go to clubs, but I do go to hip hop events. I do go to patio hotel pool events, but I don't do those other things. So it's not difficult for black women to find or black women with a vision to find a counterpart. Black women with vision have to do the same thing that other women do. Do you realize other women do not have attractive mates. They don't have mates that they can brag to their girlfriends about. Some of those mates probably don't even have no penis game. I'm sorry, that's how it works. Because guess what? There's a lot of women we get with who don't look good with their clothes off. So what? If I get with a woman who don't look good with her clothes off, we gonna work on that together. You mine now. See, this is the thing that a lot of us dudes do that women don't do. When it comes to love, I have found there to be more loving men than there is loving women. Women many a times want to appease other women. But community solutions, when I do this next stream, I'm gonna invite you, Naima, Miss Buckner. I'm gonna invite y'all. We're just gonna have a Mr. Research and women only conversation because we want to love y'all. We want to, but nobody wants to put themselves in a bad position. I will take a woman that's chubby. I'll take a woman that's very skinny. But a lot of it has to do with her mental approach to my leadership. A lot of it has to do with and look, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm a balanced guy. Sometimes I'm gonna be like, well, community solutions, that's my baby, and her idea might be better. I'm gonna let that ride. But a lot of times it's not like you women think it is. So we'll talk about it when I come back from my run. Much love. Shout out to Tank Johnson. He says, thanks for this. Man, share this on your Twitter. 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 Come on, y'all. Share this on your Twitter. Share this on your Facebook. And I'll get with some more of this when I come back from my run. Peace.